Hello and welcome to the finals of the 1v1 tournament. Today we are on Pegasus Bridge. And so, on the right hand side, in blue, playing as Blue 4, we got Local Festival, of course, playing as 101st Airborne. And on the left hand side, in red, playing as Red 4, we got Tigga as the 3rd Foul Shakers. So we are coming to the exciting conclusion of the tournament. Now once again, two Airborne decks going at it. A lot of people preferring to use very A-phase focused or infantry focused decks in these matchups. It's kind of the current meta at the moment. But hey, we're gonna see how things end up going. A Local Festival, I'm just thinking, there's not too many Airborne engineer spots. There's a bit more of an open-ended map, which does give Tigga an advantage with his machine guns and of course his Foul Shakers. And he's going to be opening up with a Panzer L6, some infantry and MG up top, and an AT gun down below. While Local Festival going for just usual AT guns and infantry and a few machine guns and mortars. As both sides send a lot of air forces to clash in the middle town. And there's a few areas raised out where there's no airborne engineers actually right now. We've got some M1919s. And a lot of Foul Shakers. 1, 2, 3, 4 Foul Shaker squads. That's a lot of money. 45 points each. That equals 180 points of infantry. Just here in this middle hand side. But it's working rather well. Airborne rifles don't stand a chance. They're going to go down platoons worth of 4 Shakers. And AB engineers are not going to be able to get in range to provide fire support. Even the M1919s can't help out. The Local Festival is doing a pretty good job down below, forcing those Foul Shakers to retreat. But we've got an LG-40 in position to provide good old long-range fire support. So looking pretty good for Tigga at the start. Panzer L6 slowly stunning up the 1919s. But yeah, now Tigga's just going to have to move through with the rest of his forces. And he's getting some side shots here on the AB engineers, forcing them to fall back even more. And we've got that P-51D Mustang dropping in some bombs. The mortar's still alive though, it's going to be out of commission for a little bit. Tigga bringing up a tank down below to try to regain some ground. That's quite a bit of ground loss. Local Festival is still taking that +1 point advantage. Tigga LG-40 helping out with finishing off the 1919. And as Airborne leaders are out of smoke to protect themselves. Got the Panzer L6 moving up. And as I say, pretty standard fight all full in the middle. Got a 37mm gun getting into position, trying to knock out the Panzer. The Foul Shakers are going to be able to flank both of these AT guns. As some engineers do manage to move up, I think they're going to be able to just barely sneak through and maybe snipe a Foul Shaker squad. If they just keep on moving, use this orchard for... and they're not going to be able to really sneak through, they can still be seen. They do have a bit of cover at least, but as you can see, are already at half morale damage. The Foul Shakers pinning down both 37mm guns, making sure that tank is still dominant on the battlefield. And now those engineers are not working out well on this map. Local Festival bringing in more reinforcements. And then Tigga's just, he pretty much has this town side completely under control. He has a lot of units concentrated in this area. And once the AB leaders and machine guns go, he's going to have easy pickings on the rest of the town. So machine guns firing away, trying to intercept rifles. And even rifles are not going to be enough to... Well, actually, close range, they can beat Foul Shakers, as we saw before. But a Panzer L6 is enough to make you win any battle. P-51D Mustang dropping in some bombs. Not getting too many kills, but just enough to stun them up. And this is a good use of air power here from local festival to try and shore up the advantage. Got a Messerschmitt managing to intercept the P-51D. And the P-51D is still faster by 80 kilometers. But the Messerschmitt, once it gets into range, does have the Star Veterancy and the agility bonus. And see that Mustang is forced to retreat. And that should be enough to shoot it down. There we go. Managing to shoot down both of those Mustangs is going to be a big play here for Tigga. And the Falljiggers is swarming on through, and now Tigga is gaining that +1 point advantage. Doesn't have too much to catch up to, only a 300 point lead from local festival. And we are going to get into B phase rather shortly. I mean, local festival will have the advantage, but only by 10 points. But once you get into C, that's when Tigga, of course, once again, just spam the Luftwaffe like it's 1940. And there he has pretty much the town under control. You can just get some good fire support, some MG34s, some LG40s, to try and cover the area to stop enemy reinforcements. Heck, even Falljiggers is going to be enough to stop anything that dares tries to come through. And we've got the 50 cal, some good old fire support. Stunning up the Falljiggers with the rifles, and they're going to be forced to retreat. If they actually decide to retreat, it is. Got a mortar ready to start firing into the town. While MG34 is in position to shoot the mortar, because machine gun 34s and MG42s can shoot incredibly long distances. And now we got a tank, which is going to help out quite a bit. Just all the fire support that local festival can bring up is going to help out a ton. We've got AB engineers getting in close. It's tough for them to get in close in town areas such as this, but once they do, they can do that damage. But he did get him stuck out in the open there, and they're going to be forced to retreat. Or if he should retreat him. And airborne rifles trying to move up too, but yeah, Falljiggers, this is where they shine. Got machine gun helping out. We got MG34 getting into position, and heck, Messerschmitts are just going to strafe the MG. Just trying to keep that Falljigger squad alive, and it's a real good attack from here. I just want to take a look. It kind of looks like a pincher or a head of a hammerhead shark. I don't know, you could probably do some interesting artistic interpretations of what the red boats look like. Maybe like a chandelier, a hand, a fin of a fish. So many interpretations, but that really is down to you. It's like a Rorschach test. Rorschach test. You got mortars trying to protect the machine 50 cals. This is a damn good idea. Rather important units to keep alive. But Focke-Wulf going to be dropping in a 500 kilogram bomb, which does not mess around. Use it to knock out the pack gun, not the 50 cal. And he's going to use the Panzer 06 to continue attack. And now Tigga, Tigga is gaining that air superiority. Got 2 fighter race Messerschmitts on patrol constantly, and bringing up other planes to help the fight. I do have some AA here, Bofors, which is a damn good choice, but I really don't see how local festival is going to be able to take back this middle hand town. There's just so many Falljiggers and machine guns and AT guns and mortars all over the place, and they're in really good defensive positions too. It's going to be hard to take out the back of just a singular assault. Local festival's best bet is probably just to try to hit around the flanks. Up top it's not too bad. Only a single MG34 and 2 of these LG40s protecting the flank. What you need is a decent tank like a Sherman to break through, some infantry support. And down below he's doing his best. 50 cals. Gets them flanked from the Falljiggers. They're going to start opening fire, but the Falljiggers at closer range I can be able to stun up the 50 cals before 50 cals can stun up the Falljiggers. There we go. Rifles going to be helping out too, and I think the rifles is going to be enough to force Fouchagers to retreat. As they book it for the tree line, under intense enemy fire. And go 57mm to protect the bottom outside, and it's in a rather good position. There's a lot of open ground, and heck, even just a 6-pounder gun is enough to kill most, or pretty much all of the tanks that Tigga can bring up. I mean, you do not need any of those fancy-pantsy 17-pounders or 76mm when fighting against airborne decks. Some mortars trying to smoke the Fouchagers, so the AB engineers can move up. Real good use of combined arms, yeah. And I think Tigger's getting the message, and he's trying to duck a raise so he's not within that 100-meter kill range. The Kubral MG is also in position too, so if those AB engineers do go across the crest, they all get lit up by the machine guns too. And as you can see, oh, Tigger, I think he's just nowhere else to run. He's going to be forced to fight. Oh, no, he's going to be running into the open field now. Just trying to escape the impending doom. 30 cal did get destroyed on the AB rifles a little bit, exposed in the open. And it seems like Tigger's trying to attack up top, try to capture his salient. There's only really a 50 cal here to stop him at the moment. The other 50 cal and AB engineers aren't in position to really give fire support, and is that 3 Fouchager squads just rushing into the town? Yeah, it looks to be it. Oh, no, Fouchager Pioneers. It's probably a bit more of a smarter choice. They are cheaper. And he's going to be using them to rush the 50 cal emplacement. And they're going to be able to throw that grenade. Bada bing, bada boom. Oh, never mind. They did not manage to get a grenade off. Oh, they did. It just didn't get a hit on the 50 cal. The rest of the infantry being brought up. There you go. Some stern pioneers to burn them out. And once again, the third Fouchager does get into B phase. They do get, it was a good close range fire support infantry. Yeah, it can help you effectively fight engineers. And we've got engineers trying to move back to help out. Going to be a hiding in the church, but the church is not going to be enough. They're going to need more than God on their side to win this engagement. And the 50 cal is going to be holding the front, but real good attack here. That could be a nice chunk of ground that Tigger can take advantage of. Still holding the middle really well, just sort of machine guns and pack guns in position. As Local Festival does his best to hold the area. We got Messerschmitts trying to chase up P-47, but the 47 is going to be able to get out. Focke-Wulf dropping in some bombs. It's a single deadly 500 kilogram. And the engineers, good spot. Anything comes over the ridge, they're going to get burnt. You don't want to have them exposed on that ridge line. Got a 50 cal down below, giving some fire support. And some strafing runs from the Messerschmitt. Thunderbolt managing to drop its bombs, knocking out the machine gun squad. And it's going to be able to get out. And the Bofors are going to be helping and run these engagements. Just got some regular engineers now. Instead of flamethrowers, they got satchel charges. The AB engineers being surrendered, yeah. And now it's just one lone 50 cal by his own. Another 50 cal in the middle, just packing a rate the MG34. But the MG34 is in good cover. Or it's in a building which I believe gives you better cover than being in a forest. We got Bofors being brought out for fire support, and I cannot recommend enough using Bofors as close range fire support units, especially against such a lightly armoured division as the 3rd Fouchagers. I mean, the tank here just got blown up. But we do have a Stug being brought out, and a Stug is going to be enough to knock out that Bofors gun. There is an AT gun in between it and the M, but the AT gun's out in the open. What you doing? Oh, if he hit her in the forest, he could have easily killed that Stug. But nope, he's going to die like a bitch out in the open. Some mortars firing on the machine guns. And as you can see, the attack up top has worked really well. Just all these infantry. You got the lower Jaegers now, the Faust Pioneers. And glider rifles are nothing to really write home about. Just 11 Trove dudes with 11 Garons and a single bar. It's nothing really fun. Especially against vetted Fauchers and all the vetted infantry that Tigga can bring up. And he is still gaining that +1 point advantage. We're going to be hitting C phase in just a few seconds. And that's when Tigga really brings it home. He has a flak 88 defending his airspace. Another Stug 3. And now he's just going to be points galore. We got a Sherman up top, which is going to be good for now, because there's no real anti-tank. Got a bombing run from the P-47, knocking out the machine gun. And it seems like local festivals trying to do its best to move through into the town. As this is a pretty decent opening. That's everything is really focused up top. Bofors holding the open ground, stopping anything from trying to move up. Just good use of the Bofors guns there. Stug 3 slowly picking off the AB rifles, but we got a lot of infantry reinforcements being brought into the middle. And the Sherman with the glider rifles and Bofors doing a damn good job. And some Pathfinders as well, but here we go. Focke-Wulf dropping in its single FU bomb and FU AB rifles. They're down for the count. Messerschmitt's keeping them protected. Bofors does get knocked out, yeah, by the Stug. And at least we've got a 57mm gun in a good position. We've got a lot of Fauchjager Pioneers. But yeah, Tigga is just at such a huge point advantage. +2, he's pretty much going to take the victory. He got an M10 Wolverine down below with a Command Locust to support. So he's a 3-star Wolverine, more than enough to kill Stug. It has range advantage too. Can he actually see it? Because he's getting a little bit too close here with the Wolverine. He does not have eyes on because he doesn't have recon. And the Stug is going to be falling back. Realising it's a little bit outgunned here. And it's just fast moving down the road. Which seems a little bit silly, but if you just want to get out of there fast, I think it's worth it exposing your rear armour. We just got multiple pushes with glider rifles, but it's just glider rifles. They're not really that amazing. Yeah, engineers can help out, yo. They're pretty decent. They got the satchel charge. Bombing on there from the Ju-88. And yeah, still flying around after dropping its bombs. I don't know what a Ju-88 can really do. Yeah, he's just going to be pulling it back. B1 going in for the strafing run. And yeah, this is where Luftwaffe just absolutely shines now. As you have all these planes. And it's doing its best to try to cross this open ground country, but it's just not working. You got more bombing runs knocking out the mortars. And then Tigga's pretty much going to take the victory. And I think this is a really good example of, well, everyone says airborne engineers are really powerful at the moment. And you're true, it's an 11-man flamethrower squad. In this map, they're not that good. And that is one of the reasons why Tigga has managed to take the victory, because Fauchjagers absolutely destroy in those mid-range engagements. We got some off-map party, just some 203mm yo to beat off. Did I really just say beat off? Or blow up the Fauchjagers in that town. More Ju-88. And the problem with the 101st Airborne versus the 3rd Fauchjagers is that you really need to take home at A phase advantage, because you don't get reinforced by good infantry or really good anything once you get into B and C, while the 3rd Fauchjagers at least gets a lot of planes and a lot of good infantry options still available into the B phase. But just going all mid at the start did not do much work here for local festival, so that is the reason why he's going to be losing the match. He sort of attacked the flanks a bit more aggressively, I think. But even then, Tigga had it pretty locked down with all his 5 support vehicles. We're just going to be seeing the twilight minutes of this match. Another off-map party, but yeah, Local Festival is not going to be able to make a dent into the lines. And yeah, it'll be a good game. Tigga taking Matt's run out of 3. Pretty... Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, that was a absolute stomp, yeah, by Tigga. I mean, just look at the losses. Jesus, that was not a good match at all. Not a good match all there for Local Festival. So let's see if he can bring it back in match number 2. And here we are for match number 2. We are on St. Mary Église, and before you get confused, both sides have actually just swapped divisions. Tigga's now playing 101st in Local Festival as the 3rd Fouch Jaeger. Now, on this map, I'd say 3rd Fouch Jaeger does have the advantage. It's open on the flanks, which lends well for their long-range machine guns and fire support. And then even though in the middle, you can do quite a good job of airborne engineers, because it's a bit more densely packed, there's still a lot of open avenues of fire on those roads, which does not benefit them at all. So we're going to see how it goes. Local Festival on the right, Tigga on the left. As we wait for this to get started. We've got quite a few tanks here from Local Festival. 3 Panzer III or Panzer L6s right off the bat. Right, Local Festival is just going, or Tigga, I'm pretty confused now considering the last match, while Tigga is going for the standard infantry. Smoke immediately to cover the open ground between him and the enemy, covering the road. Good idea. We got some Fouch Jaegers in the mid, some AB engineers. There you go. Panzer being knocked out immediately by the 37mm. Second 37mm being forced to retreat, as the machine gun is just hammering away. And he just needs to continually use his smoke to try and get closer to Fouch Jaegers. I mean, he could probably move to this building and get a 100-meter kill shot, but this does not seem to be the case. 50 cal going out to the MG34. Mortar's doing its thing. And just AB engineers and tactical positions up top to hold out open ground. And they do have their rifles off, which is for the best. Try to ambush them at 100 meters. And then just completely smoking middle. And just like the smoke monster from Lost, they're going to have to try and stay in the smoke to get the kills and be effective. But we got artillery being brought out from Local Festival, 210mm of pure destructive power. And as long as you can keep him occupied in that area for just another 20 odd seconds, you should be able to completely wipe him out. 50 cal in a great position down below in that open ground engagement. And the Fouch Jaeger stopping the AB engineers trying to flank up top. And there we go, only a few seconds, but most of the AB engineers are pulling forward, so the artillery is not going to do too much damage. Maybe just on the outskirts they can get a few hits, but yeah, it's behind him now, and the AB engineers managing to push through. So yeah, good job. I really was not expecting that from... Oh, it's not completely cut and dry yet. But I wasn't expecting Tigga just taking that much ground from the start with the AB engineers. But just the use of smoke alone really helped out as the main deciding factor in that initial engagement. We've still got the Panzer L6 here. It isn't unkillable. The flamethrowers can knock it out, but it's much more better just to use a rocket launcher. I think got some more Fouch Jaegers being reinforced. Just 1-star Fouch Jaegers, yo. And he's going to get him into position. AB engineers in range. And they're going to get pinned down after being spotted. And I think, yes, second artillery strike is going to be enough to knock out the engineers in the point. Here we go. Damn, that's just Completely obliterating the force. I think a little bit of friendly fire, but nothing too bad. And down below, local festivals not doing too great. Tigga's bringing some AB rifles, and I think the engineers are coming behind for the coup de grace. And Tigga is pushing on, trying to gain the ground. And up top, we got AB engineers, find some Fallträger Fuhrers. Not going too well, considering he has a tank on standby. And using the tanks is a good idea from local festivals. Nothing amazing, of course. They're pretty crap tanks, but just some sort of fire support is better than no fire support. And they do have a rather decent cannon. I mean, it does 10 HE power, which I'm guessing is through a burst of fire, not from a single shot. But actually, is it? It is a single shot tank. No, it's not. Is it? I'm completely confused now. I mean, the machine gun's firing array. I'm honestly not familiar at all with Italian tanks. I mean, this tank is like 9 years old for Normandy, 1935. And in the middle, once again, the final strike from the 210mm off maps, forcing the engineers to retreat. But the Fallträger is also pinned down too, so it didn't go too well for them. And this is pretty even Steven, still just a 50-50 all around. Local Festival does have the point advantage, just barely, but it's still anyone's game. And the Panzer L6 is gearing up. And there is an autocannon. I do apologise. Does fire in bursts of 4. I was about to say a single shot 20mm gun would be pretty pathetic. But all of Tigger's forces are crowded up in this lone orchard. The 37mm gun is going to be able to get the kill on the L6. There you go, bailed out. Easy kill. But in this orchard, they're rather safe. The tanks can't get good shots onto them. The Fallträgers don't want to get too close, or they're going to get burnt. We've got 2 mortars, pounding the rain mid, using smoke once again effectively. And the AB engineers just managed to get close. And actually going to be pulling out the building. Like, is actually a good idea. But just a little bit too late. If he had a few more guys in the squad, he probably could have flamed the building as he retreated, which is what he was trying to do. I didn't mean to do a zoom out, yeah, huh? We've got mortars ready to fire once again. And just continually using that smoke barrage to great effect. And we've got some Fallträger spar troopers. Gonna be spotting them, but not gonna be able to do much. And see the Fallträgers down below. They're gonna get bombed. Actually stunning up his own guys with the bombing run. Yeah, a little bit risky. And bombing the Panzer L6. Messerschmitt going in for the intercept. But we've got a P-51D Mustang coming in to help its buddy. You're in B phase now. And the Mustang does get shot down, but will the Messerschmitt be able to escape? We've got a second Messerschmitt, so we've got a bit of an air fight going on over it. Too bad I can't actually zoom on the non-playable area of the map. But the Mustangs, they can pick a fight because they have that 700 or 630km speed, so they can escape the wrath of the Messerschmitts. But that run is just getting some shots off. Oh, damn. Just coming in just at that angle. Just enough time to open fire. Go on M16, trying to chase off the Messerschmitts. And then just that 2-star veterancy makes a huge deal when it comes to fighters. And he's going to be retreating. I don't think the Mustang is going to want to engage. But yeah, still, even Stevens in the middle, just all around. I mean, just take a look at the map. We got this, like, pitchfork from Tigga. And he's doing his best to just hold on to the town. Once we get into B phase now, local festival does get, of course, a lot of better infantry. And close range infantry to contest with AB engineers. As 101st does not really scale well into B&C compared to Feldjägers, as I was mentioning from earlier. But damn, this is pretty anticlimactic. We're just going to speed us up a bit. I'm just using the smoke to try to create some damn good choke points, as you can see. Now smoking down below so we can move up the engineers to flank the MG34. Just jumping from building to building. I really just want to commend Tigga from using smoke, because that is a damn good play. Absolute damn good play to make his engineers effective. We've got Messerschmitt going in for a strafing run on the engineers. I think they're going to come round for round 2. We got an artillery piece. Going to be battering the 37mm. Gets the kill, as it is a rather powerful artillery piece at 15 HE. And we got 2 P-51D Mustangs. We got a red tail situation here. They're not going to engage, so we're not going to have a cool movie dogfight. Both sides is going to fly over their own sector. And it's probably smart for local festival not to engage, because there's AA on Tigger's side. Well, local festival does not have any AA of its own at the moment. Any of these artilleries is continuing pound and array. I don't think it's a great idea having them in the road. I think you could just barely shoot them through the other side of the town if you had the range. But hey, if you just want instant artillery, just unload wherever you are. And damn, Tigger's made some damn good progress down below. Nothing to stop him whatsoever. He's going to move up his AT guns to try to cover the open ground, but he's also going to need fire supports of 50 cals and other things to really hold on to what he captured. Mustang strafing the Feldjäger Pioneers. And damn, good hit, yeah. Knocking out the tank with a bazooka shot. And there's good use of artillery from local festival. Killing AB rifles from a safe distance. But Tigger is now gaining that +1 point advantage. So he is gaining the lead, slowly but surely. Now using the mortars, but local festival still holding on rather well. The Feldjägers are rather nasty. And even though he is doing a good job using all the smoke, it's just artillery, and there was a tank here from before. I think these AB engineers should be able to clear up both of these units. If manages to get into range. Be definitely going to hit the MG34 first. The Feldjägers won't be able to give fire support. And there we go. Forcing the MG34 to retreat. That is also another thing that I realise. Against flamethrowers in a town, you can always just run out the building immediately and use that for cover as you retreat. Where the AB engineers have to try and chase you down. So you can use the buildings, even if there's smoke, to block the engineer's line of sight. And there you go, every time Tigger exposes himself with some sort of static emplacement, these Jeb 40s just come hammering down. We got some FS Pioneers and some FS Spar Troopers moving through. Engineers clearing out, or the lone engineer clearing out the lone Feldjäger. And Tigger still gaining that +1 point lead. Sherman DD being brought out. This definitely gives some good fire support on his top hand side. And we've got some artillery trying to hit the AA battery down back, as well as some mortars. And all AB rifles in a rather sneaky location here. But if those Feldjäger Pioneers can just get a bit closer, they can actually throw their insta-kill grenades. Which is what they'd want to do, but heck, at long range, they're going to win. They do have the star advantage, but the machine gun is not as good compared to the M1919. There we go, we got a dogfight finally. Will Messerschmitt actually die? He's going to be falling back. He's going to be able to escape. We got, oh, Mustang is going to get the kill. Oh. And there we go, knocking out one of those Messerschmitts. So, good kill, yeah. Got a second Sherman being brought on down below. If he actually moves it up. There we go, starts to be fast moving now. And he's just going to keep his Sherman here for now. As there's nothing really covering out front, as I need to take a drink of water real fast. Casting all these games is making my throat a little bit coarse. But in the middle, there we go, engineers starting to make ground. You can see the whole town, or half the town, has just been completely lit up in a gulf of fire. He finally moved his artillery off the road, which is a smart idea. And now local festival is gaining that +1 point advantage. As the engineers come through to finish out the rest of the units in the town. We've got some Pathfinders moving up. They should be able to get a grenade shot onto the Panzer 6. No, just a little bit too close. But now he realizes there's nothing too scary around the corner. No rocket launchers. And knocks out the Panzer 6 with a good old anti-tank grenade. Just get a shock, some tar, and a lot of explosives. And yeah, so you can knock out tanks airborne style. HS-129 getting intercepted by a P-51D Mustang. And the Messerschmitt is a little bit outclassed, yeah. And Tigga's now starting to gain air superiority. And we're all in sea phase, which happened just 2 minutes ago. Now, it does mean local festival can start bringing out all those planes, but it's looking pretty good for Tigga. It's not terrible at the moment. I mean, if you lose to another Mustang, that won't be good. And that's exactly what's going to happen. And it's amazing how Rail Local Festival has managed, shoots down all 3 Mustangs. And it's amazing how Rail Local Festival is keeping air superiority without a single anti-aircraft unit. Because having just a single AA unit behind your lines just makes fighting dogfights so much easier. Because they can easily stun up planes. So being able to just knock out planes left, right, and center with just planes of its own is damn good. I mean, heck, even a single Flak 88 would completely consolidate all his air power. And Tigga's now rusting through with an assault up top. Probably just some airborne rifles, I'm guessing. We've got some glider rifles over here, that's for sure. As he tries to gain a ground up top, as there's nothing to stop him. As the infantry are about to meet the DD Sherman as it reversing into enemy fire. Oh, I don't have anti-tank weaponry, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah, Sherman's just going to be pounding away the 50 cal and whatnot. And all HS-129B1 gets a kill on the Sherman, yeah. Giving the Pioneers just a little bit of breathing room. And the rifles are pinned down too. We got an SPW AB-41, a really weird recon unit, of course. I believe it is also Italian. But yeah, just once again, just a small autocannon. Gonna be plugging the AB rifles. I'd say a not bad little recon unit considering. I mean, the autocannon is good, it does 5 AP damage. Compared to the regular 4. And using the Sherman down below to try to gain some ground. But Local Festival has now taken the lead at +1. And The Sherman now moving through, and just having a tank fire support is making all the difference here. Artillery stunning the glider rifles. Right, you out in the open with no cover? That is a great question. An absolutely great question. Got a bombing on there from P-47 Thunderbolt, knocking out the LG-40. The Sherman itself did get killed, which is a damn shame. And even bringing up the M16s to give fire support in the town. And the glider rifles trying to move up. This is where Tigga really starts to hurt. Because he's lost a lot of his engineers, a lot of his AB rifles. And glider rifles aren't good. While local festival still has a lot of pioneers and lower Jaegers under his belt. It does scale better into B and C. Well, it scales better into C, that's for sure. B phase is painful with only 95 points in the economy section. But against 101st, you get better infantry at that point. Messerschmitt's doing some good old strafing runs, forcing him to retreat. And then just good use of the artillery, constantly barraging. And Thunderbolt knocking out the Fauch Pioneers, and both sides using airplanes to great effect. I mean, those Thunderbolts just keep coming out of their heavy bomb loads to do damage. And holy crap, the Fauch Pioneers are still alive back here. I'm absolutely amazed. I've honestly thought they were a goner. But no, they're holding their little part of Germany, their Danzig pocket, you could say. They're a little bit outnumbered and surrounded. They've got machine guns setting up, glider rifles nearby. It's only a 1919 and not a 50 cal, which is the best case scenario if you have to fight against a machine gun. And glider rifles down below, but there's no fire support supporting them. So it's not going to go too great for him. He's still got Fauch Jaeger here. And yeah, Fauch Jaeger is just going to do a lot more damage. There we go. We got B1 going in, kills the M16. Going in for round 2. Kills the other M16. And there's great use of the B1s, knocking out AA, knocking out tanks. Using that to keep Tigger's fire support at bay. And we got artillery, hitting the glider rifles now. And Messerschmitt's going in for a strafing run. And I do believe local festival is going to be taking a victory here. Has 10 minutes left. It can still go anyone's game if Tigger's starting to get a +1. He could probably catch up. Yeah, he could easily catch up with a +1 point advantage. But it doesn't seem to be the case. And now, local festival has just got most complete air superiority now. It's just a lot more planes. And that is because he has that huge economic boost during C. And he's clearing up the glider rifles down below. And yeah, Tigger surrenders. And that will bring it to run. And pretty close on the KD. Well, closer than last match, that for sure. Only 800 kill difference. But yeah, just once again, that was a good map for the third Fauch Jaegers. Wasn't too much close range ground for the 101st to really take advantage of. So, we'll see you for the finals of the finals. And here we are for the finals of the finals. And we are on Carpiet. And guess what? It's 101st Airborne versus 3rd Fauch Jaeger. Once again, Tigger playing 101st and local festival as the 3rd. And this is an extremely open map, as you can tell. And, well, I'm not really have to say it, but I'd give 3rd Fauch Jaeger a big advantage on this map. The town one is a bit more close range. I mean, you do have some actual forest for the engineers to frolic around in, but it's not great. So we'll see how things go once again. And yeah, just a lot of infantry from both sides. I'm seeing a few machine guns from local festival. And oh wow, is that a preemptive artillery strike? I mean, that's a good location to guess where they're gonna go. But I think it's going to come in a little bit too early, like a preemptive F4 Phantom napalm bombing run. Yeah, they're not going to be able to get you in time. Yeah, I must really confuse Tigger a little bit. What's going on? Why is he bombing that place where I have no one there? And getting him a little bit too close. That's he hurting himself with that initial off-map party. MG34 first 1919. We don't need to say who the winner of that match is going to be. And we got a second barrage here from local festival, but this time on an actual target. And the engineers are managing to get in close. Stunning up the Tigga Furious. I don't know why I was doing the for. And the Tigga's doing a good job taking the top. And down below, really nothing much. Tigga just setting up a 50 cal. And Pathfinders, moving some Pathfinders along the airfield strip. Our local festival only has an MG34, and I think for local festival it might have been a good idea just to try and attack the bottom outside, get a tank, just some fire support units, and it would have been pretty good to go. It does have out machine gun 34s as well, but he is concentrating the majority of his forces into taking his town up top, and we've got one final off-map party strike here from the BO Swimmer. As mortars pound array at the MG34. And the engineers in a very nice spot to get any close range kills. The Tigga is going to be entering the engineers domain very shortly. The MG34 is going to give some good fire support if we can actually get a line of sight. But he's moving in. The MG34 just in range. And there we go. Burn, baby, burn. Tiggas are burnt. Extra crispy. Panzer 6 to support up top. But the AB engineers end up getting surrounded and are forced to surrender. So local festival pretty much has a complete top hand map under his control. In the middle, we still have a few engineers and rifles, but he's slowly beating them all through machine guns. And bringing up a MG34. Probably just trying to snipe out Pathfinder, because slap bang in the open, he might as well just shoot him. And I think, yeah, they're just barely out of range for the MG34 in a building. And damn, he's really rushing down the airfield, yeah. The rifle's moving into the forest to chase the fallen back Tiggas. It does force them to surrender. Good capture, good capture. They've got Tiggas trying to attack across the open ground. They are getting lit up by machine gun fire. Does kill the 37mm yo. And we got some more AB engineers. It seems like he's trying to bring them into the top hand sector, and that's a lot of open ground between them and the enemy infantry. So yeah, he's going to be repositioning them. And the MG34, what are you doing? Can't see the Pathfinders. And you're just going to keep him right in the open. Just right in the open. Okay, sure. Why not? Why not? Panzer 06 being brought up for fire support. And the Tigga is doing their best in the open ground engagement, but a proper machine gun there is going to hinder them. P-51D Mustang dropping in some bombs. Another Panzer 06. And the MG34 up top has been destroyed or forced to relocate. And why do you bring airborne engineers into such a open ground engagement or area? I don't exactly know. And yeah, MG34, of course it's going to get bombed in the middle of an airfield. Now damn, that pack gun managing to get a pretty sick sniper. Damn, that is some tight angling from a 37mm. Airborne engineers getting a good kill. Good use of smoke once again from Tigga to try and close engagement distances. He's going to use it in the top hand side so he can get real close to his Fallschlägers. You know what? Is he going to burn him? He's going to burn him. And they're going to be able to retreat. Second Fallschläger squad are going to be in a good position. Those mortars need to start firing smoke. MG34 actually shooting behind the AB engineers as they have his entire top open hand section under their control. 2 attack beacons on that 37mm. I'm guessing he's going to save it for a later date to bomb the crap out of. And this one lone 1919 is doing a damn good job defending this area. Stopping those Fallschlägers from getting too close. But Local Festival is gaining that +1 point advantage. Tigga's in the lead, but not for much longer, I think. There we go, narrow that down to 50-50. And supplies to refill the 60mm mortar. As it is using a lot of smoke ammunition, you can see. Hardly any HE, all its smoke ammo is gone. Those MG34s shooting anything that dares to try to cross the open ground. We've pretty much got a no man's land happening up here. Once again, Machine Gun 34 getting hit up by a plane. Now it's only one dude left alive. I really don't know what the idea was having the MG34 here. There's no cover for him, so to speak. At least these guys have. I even technically in cover, yeah. Just, I guess that one lone tree is enough to hide your scrot. There you go, MG34 is now toast. And there you go, M22 Locust, just where I need to clear out the MG34s in the top hand section. Got Panzer 06 being brought up, and yeah, should be able to kill the M22 if it can get into a good position. But yeah, it sounds pretty much cut off in half. With Local Festival controlling the top hand area, while Tigga still have his crossroads pretty much under his control, and the rest of the town behind him. But he is gaining that +1 point advantage, which is also important. And the M22 just rushing right in, trying to kill that MG34, but way too close, because you just got hit by a Panzerfaust, buddy. And off goes the tank. Bit too cocky there with the M22. And we got some LG40 fire support. And now bringing up a Fallschläger Führer to hold the airfield. At least they're in cover, which is good. But they're going to get bombed, which is bad. Pretty bad. And Messerschmitt chasing the P-51D Mustang. Got a second P-51 trying to save its buddy. And he's still going after the first one here. He's going to get the kill. Now he needs to turn around to deal with number 2. And as you can see, just these guys are absolute fighter legends. But oh no, he's going for the strafing run. He needs a dogfight. And oh, he's going to lose the plane now. He could have won the dogfight. He has a Star Veterancy and he has the agility bonus as well. I mean, he just went for the strafing run instead, it seems, instead of just trying to go for the Mustang. Oh, I think he just misclicked it, actually, now I think about it. LG40, what are you trying to do here? And AB Engineers getting in real close. LG40 giving some close range fire support too, forcing Engineers to fall back, and now they can just move up to finish these guys off. Panzer 06 getting destroyed by the 50 cal, or by the 37mm 50 cal, stunning up all the infantry. And we are in B phase, so Local Festival does get more infantry, or good infantry. Yeah, as we know, the routine from before. But still, Tigga's using smoke to great effect. And oh, yeah, that's a bit silly moving the LG-40 up. I see what it's trying to do, bringing in fire support into a town, but I don't think that was the best idea. And bringing up a Bofors too. And I think if he's in a position where I think he's going to position it, yeah, but if you put it around here, it can keep good eyes on the entire airfield area. But he is still good enough to try to stop those planes from flying over. But it's still just a no man's land across the diagonal. Well, I guess it's still halfway. Yeah, it's pretty diagonal from the town. Both sides are setting up fire support and machine guns and all that good stuff. And you've got a heavy artillery piece that is rather close range, I have to admit. Bomb and run knocking out the Foutshaker, Pioneer, and LG-40. And there, AB Engineers moving up. A damn bomb and run on the heavy artillery piece. That was a pretty dumb idea, having it that close. I mean, back here would have been a bit safer, or in these hedge lines at least, but hey, what are you gonna do? And I'm thinking Local Festival wants to get some infantry into the middle to try and defend this section. I mean, AB Engineers are ready to attack. Now, the Pandro 06, he knows what Albert is. He knows what's going on at this point whenever smoke drops in the field, but engineers are going to get into position. Not going to be engaged in the tank. They could have knocked it out, not knocked it out, but forced it to surrender the flamethrower at least. But here we got some Pioneers, and Pioneers always been a good counter to airborne engineers, as they do have air grenades and they have long range machine guns as well. And as you can see, the Pioneers doing a good job just pinning down the airborne engineers. As well, they also have, I didn't realise, they also have semi-automatic weaponry because they're Foushakers. So it puts them on par with the airborne NGs. Yeah, so just engagement over no man's land. Both was in a good position to stun up the Foutshaker Pioneers, just a small angle of fire, yo. And real good use of air superiority here from Tigga, using these P-51D Mustangs an awful lot. And we finally forced the Local Festival to actually buy an AA gun. And smoke is being dropped. And all the Foushakers are going to be a nasty surprise as they cross the fog. Airborne NG's in position to burn them up to a crisp. And that's going to get them to surrender. And there we go, counter battery on the 60mm knocks it out. And having those mortars alive for Tigga is oh so important to make sure the smoke field can stay open. But damn, these Foutshaker Pioneers are flanking through. The machine gun and leader are going to retreat back. And they're going to be engaging the engineers over long range. They're also taking fire down below from the glider rifles, so it's not looking too good for them now. 37mm. Not going to be enough to stop the Mustang as it drops its big payload on the piles. But Tigga is still in the lead by 300 odd points. And he's doing a good job defending his half of the town. And using smoke just absolutely religiously to win these engagements. Yeah, it's a small engagement still. Pioneers trying to do their best, but a little bit outgunned, yeah. 50 cal forcing, actually hitting up the 37mm, yeah. And once again, continuous bombing strikes of all these planes. We're going to be in sea phase very shortly. And damn, knocking out both artillery pieces without one airstrike. What a good kill. What a damn good kill. And that's going to be costly for local festival. But even though Tigga does run out of those good infantry, he's using fire support effectively. He's got Bofors in a great spot. Airplanes constantly flying through. I mean, to see another P-51D Mustang dropping in its payload, and these guys are out of the building, so they're going to take quite a few casualties. And once again, another P-47. Jesus. Just constant bombing runs. So a real good use of air power. Local festival really needs to start bringing up more of those Messerschmitts to keep the skies clear. I mean, it did lose that one from earlier, which is a big pain in the butt. And he now has a Flak 88, which is what he needs. A big arse AA gun. Machine guns stunning up the Pios. Mortars hitting up the Spar Troopins. And then Tigga just has real good momentum at the moment. Means shooting at a lot of local festival stuff. And now he's bringing up more reinforcements. I'm guessing airborne rifles. And he still has in reserve. There we go. As local festival bring up Falchegas, and he's starting to push through the middle of the town now. And they just get burnt up. They're going to be forced to retreat as AB rifles continue to move. And the rifles are going to win that engagement because they do have the better machine gun. They are starting to get hit by the Flak 88, and there we go. Spotting the Flak 88. I think I know what the P-47 Thunderbolt is going to go for next. Another heavy artillery piece after losing both of his from earlier. And I think what really helping Tigga a lot is that he just has his middle or the airfield under his control of very little, and it's just the ground alone, just a little extra ground advantage. It's more than enough to tip him over +1. Even though in the town it's a rather bitter fight for both sides. They got a lot of loader rifles, a little bit bunked up. Yeah, seeing as it's going to get hit up by artillery, forced to retreat. Should have tried to spread them out to buildings ASAP. Damn, just overwhelming amount of infantry. Fire support is doing a good job. I'm just waiting for more planes to show up. And there we go, off-map arty on the Flak 88. Yo, it's not directly on it. There you go, second hit did get a good morale hit, but nothing on the actual guys. And there's lots of 50 cals stunning at long range, using mortars as well. There you go, finally a Messerschmitt, but we got a bit of AA here. Everyone Bofors is going to force it to stay back for now. Sunny Jim and Mustang going in for the intercept. And actually going in for the flag gun. Strafing it with his machine guns. A little bit risky here. And he just needs to pull out, use his speed to an advantage. And the P-47 going in for the coup de grace. But it's a Flak 88, so he has a lot of HP. Yeah, they're pretty hard to kill with bombing runs. You see, a second bombing run, yeah? Only got one dude. There we go, we got some Falchiga Pioneers finally engaging the Pathfinders, and the Pathfinders don't exactly have the firepower to win this engagement. I mean, they got a tree, and the Pioneers got some grass and a dirt road. Who would win? I think this is where local festival needs to start taking a bit of ground over the airfield. I can understand why both sides aren't doing that, because they're both airborne decks. You can't do a crazy tank rush across the open, especially with light tanks. You would be rather cautious doing that in the first place. But it is the best place for local festival to attack, because it's at least defended. I mean, just bringing in a few of these Panzer 06, you know, some recon to try and retake the hangar area, try to take the hangar area, and try to get some ground so we can get the point advantage. And we are in C phase. Israel Local Festival does get to bring in all those nasty pasty planes. Heavy artillery ready to fire away. But as you can see, just great use of fire support with the 50 cals. And that is what is allowing, and the airplanes, is allowing Tigga to win its match, even though he is using rather subpar glider rifles now, and he has run out of airborne engineers, essentially. They go strafing on the pioneers, and the machine gun as well is going to keep that Pathfinder alive, and once his Pathfinder's getting close, they have those M1 carbines and Thompsons. And I'm amazed they, I guess because they're behind enemy lines, the Pathfinders cannot actually alter the line control. Oh, finally! We get to see a B-26 Marauder. I thought we wouldn't see one through the finals. The big bomber plane, and it's dropping its load. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Completely stunning up all the infantry coming in to reinforce. And then just 50 cows galore. And also, Local Festival did use a lot of his MG34s at the start, and he ended up, he lost them, is what I'm trying to say. So he doesn't have anything to really counter-react to all these 50 cows. He needs to start getting his artillery to start firing on them. And we've got some off-map party from Tigga. And I believe it's just... Oh god, it's naval artillery. Oh, we're really bringing out the big guns to end us off. And they're just going to be in a circle still. Bada bing, bada boom. Oh, no. Hit on the Fallschläger Pioneers. I think these guys are going to be able to get off scot-free, yo. The Panzer tank, yo. Oh. They're going to be pinned down. Airborne rifles holding their area. They are in the town, which does all buildings, which gives them cover advantage. And oh, that one was close. And they're going to be forced to retreat. He's going to chase, try to get them to surrender. No, he's actually just going to stay back for now, not wanting to get too cocky and lose his AB rifles that are in rather short supply so late into the match. And we got two of these Panzer L6s giving good fire support. The rifles not in range to use their rocket launchers. So you can see he has a machine gun as well in the middle. Now he has damn good map control over at airfield. All he has to do is knock out the Fallschlägers, and that'll be another 2 to 3% of the map. Messerschmitt going in for the intercept. Mustang. Oh! Got a second Mustang being brought out. The flat gun is gonna engage. And those are two P-51Ds. And what is he gonna be going for? He's going for the Fallschlägers, try to clear up the bottom strip of the town. Run bomb. Oh, knocking out the recon too. But yeah, Tigger's really just mopping the floor now. And I think he is going to be taking the victory here. And the Messerschmitt does get shot down. Another Messerschmitt lost. And then Tigger just has air superiority. He's got a bloody B-26 Marauder on the field. That's how much air superiority he has. Bringing up a Sermon DD, which is more than enough to deal with the crappy little Panzer L6s. But Local Festival is also retaliating with a Stug. Go on SPW, which I believe... Is that the Dingo? Let's see, I need to slow this down. Is that the Dingo? Yeah, there we go. We got the captured Dingo. I don't know why they call it SPW 202. I guess that's its captured name. Tigger captured another infantry squad. Got a few final Fallschlägers being brought in to reinforce, but it's not going to be enough. We've got Sherman fire support. What was that? Bomb and run from the P-51D Mustang. Landing on the AB. And the 50 cal should be enough to kill the AB eventually. I mean, once again, the invisible hit points. And this just was an odd looking... like recon, just an odd looking unit in general. Is that like an antenna on the side that can be brought up? What the hell is that? But anyways, it's going to be forced to retreat. And the mortar going in. Going to be hitting the artillery. Gets the kill. And then Tigga's has such a huge point advantage at this point. Sherman and Stug going at it. And damn, I think Stug's going to get the victory here. Oh, bomb and run just in time from B-26, forcing the Stug to retreat. Sherman going to stay alive. And oh, AB getting pinned down first. Sherman in the middle got knocked out, which is a damn shame. There you go, more bomb and runs, and as you can see, just complete air superiority from Tigga. Just so many bloody planes. And there we go, local festival surrender, and Tigga takes the victory, taking home $37. I believe local festival will be taking home 23 odd United States dollaroonies. So yeah, Tigga got a huge kill advantage throughout match, and I honestly thought that it would be a more local festival sided map for the third Jaegers, but just good use of the smoke of his airborne engineers and the air superiority run him the match. Just using all those planes as constantly knocking out the artillery and those Jaegers. So this has been a very fun tournament. I hope you guys enjoyed this coverage, and as usual, please just take it easy.